calculation. So single value, we can store only single value in a data item. It's not possible to store multiple values in a data item. And we have here frequently using data types are number, another one is text. One is number, another one is text in a data item. Text, we will call it as a universal data type also. We will call the text as a universal data type in Blue Prism because text will allow everything here. It will allow special characters, it will allow numbers, it will allow strings in a Blue Prism. There is no so specific thing, so specific restriction for a text. Same way, number, it will allow all integer values, negative values, decimal values, everything it will allow. For example, in any other programming language, in any other tool, we have a number separately, decimal separately. But here, so decimals, numbers, integers, everything it will allow in a number. So that's the thing we need to remember. And here in last class, what we done, if you observe in this process, we have created multiple calculation shapes to implement multiple expressions in one place, addition in another one, multiplication in another one, subtraction. We have done like this. But for example, assume that if you have more than 6 expressions, more than 10 expressions, along with these three, we need to implement some other calculations. For example, round, square root, and then power, and round on, division, different things. Then what we have to do, we need to again and again we need to use calculation shapes. It means if you have 10 expressions, we need to implement 10 calculation shapes here. Then only we can able to do that. Otherwise it is not possible. Right? Again and again we have to drag and drop calculations, and then we have to use it in a flow. So then the flow will become very big. The flow is going to become very big here. So that's why we have another option called multi calculation. We have another option, multi calculation shape. In multi calculation shape, we are going to use multiple expressions. Remember, calculation is for single expression, but multi-calculation shape is for multiple expressions. We can able to do multiple calculations at a same time. So no need to implement multiple calculation shapes here. And if you click on this, one more thing we will discuss here. When you are running this process, for example, reset and run. When you are running this process, you can able to see the result of the each and every expression. But when you are running the process, I want to see what is the expression it is happening in the backend. What is the expression is happening in the backend for each and every calculation stage or calculation shape. Then we have an option called enable calculation zoom. One is enable calculation zoom. This option, it will work only for calculation shape, not for multi calculations. It will only work for calculations, not for multi calculations. What it means by that? So if you enable this calculation zoom, observe this. I am trying to enable this one. It's enabled. It's enabled for, once you enable for one calculation, it is going to enable for all the calculation shapes. Now reset, we are running now. Observe this, what is happening here. Each and every stage it is showing what is the calculation it is happening in the backend. So this enable calculation, it will show you what is happening in the backend for that particular calculation stage. And one more thing, this one it will not going to work for multi calculation. We will see that what it means by that. And so did we discuss? So what is validate, what is evaluate options in this? Okay, we'll discuss it. So here, validate button. If you want to cross check whether our expression is correct or not, we are going to use a validate button. Observe this. The expression is wrong here. I given a comma and remove that. Validate. Yes, it's working. Validate to check whether our expression is correct or not. And then we have another option called evaluate expression. Evaluate expression. We will use this to test our expression or to check the result of our expression. Sometimes in interviews they will ask like, I don't want to run the process, but I want to see the result of that particular process. Then we can use evaluate expression. Without running the process, we can able to see the result here. Observe X value, Y value. Just click on a test. What is happening here? 38, 38. For example, you can give any user defined values also 1, 1 and test. Observe 2. Right? So like this we can able to check so the values before running our process. We are not running the process, but even though we can able to see the result in this particular calculation stage. So that's I will call that evaluate expression to cross check the values or whether to check the expression is working fine or not. We can check the result of the expression. Okay. Now we will discuss about multi-calculation. Here we are implementing multiple calculation shapes. Instead of that, if you want to implement multiple calculations in a single shape, then we have an option called multi-calculation. I will close this. I will save this process. I'm going to close, and the process has been saved. Now we are going to create another process. Create. This is for multi calculation. Click next. Finish. Double click. Here we have a process. Process has been started. We need to, if you want to work anything, we need to create a data item. If you want to implement calculations, for example, addition, multiplication, subtraction, or division, whatever it may be, we need a data items. But already we created data items in previous process. We can able to copy data items or process or shape from one process to another process. We can able to copy shapes, data items, process from one process to another process. What it mean by that? For example, you have a document in D drive, Word document or Excel document. You copied this to D drive. Then both the files will work individually. Both the files is going to work individually, right? If you do any changes in a D drive, the copied document, it is not going to impact on E drive, right? Same way, if you do any changes to the original, so it is not going to impact on the copied one. Both the things will work individually. Same way here, once you copied the data items from or shapes from one process to another process, along with the shape, it is going to copy properties as well. For example, along with the Word document, we are getting data inside the document as well. Same way here. So now, so no need to create again. If you want to create, you can create. So like this, data item, and then you can create the values for this. Instead of that, creating, we can copy the data items from previous process also. Just go to the previous process, this one, first process. These two are the data items. Select these data items, right click, observe, copy. We have a copy option. Just copy the data items. I copied these two data items. Come to this process, from here, right click, paste. Observe. See this? It's copied a shape along with properties. If you observe x value 2, 3 and then y value 1, 5, the same thing, it has been copied. Now you can use this in this process. Same way you can able to copy not only the data items, you can able to copy any shapes to one process to another process. Now we need to implement multiple calculations, multiple expressions we need to implement it here. Use multi-calculation, give the link, start to multi-calculation, multi-calculation to end. Remember, every shape has to be included in between start and end. It has to be linked in between start to end, other than data items and collections. Other than data items and collections, it has to be linked in between start to end. So we'll see what it means by collections in the next process. Now here we have a x and y. We need to implement multiple calculations. Click on pointer, double click, expression, click on the expression editor. Now whatever the values we have in a workspace, we can able to see those values here, x and y. So we need to implement some calculation. Plus, we can give any user defined value also. Click OK. This is for addition result. Just click on the icon. This is a shortcut to create data item. Wherever you are going to see this icon, if you click on that, automatically it will create a data item based on your expression properties. Click on this. Observe, it created a data item and then it has decided that this data type is number based on this expression values. Same way, I need another expression. So like this, you can able to create n number of expressions. There is no limit. But if you want to do the same thing by using calculation shapes, you have to implement multiple calculations. Instead of that, here we can able to create everything in one multi-calculation shape. Now here I need to implement 4 multiply 9. This is for multiplication result. Click on this. Next one, I need to subtract this addition result. This output I will take minus, I will take multiplication result. This is possible. Subtraction result. So now we created 3 different expressions here in one multi-calculation shape. Click OK. Now observe, we have addition result, multiplication result, and we have subtraction, right? Subtraction, we didn't create it, it seems. Click on this, it's created. Click OK. Now we have 2 things. So 2 data items are the input values we are giving, initial values, and then 3 are for output values. We are taking these data items. Reset. We don't have any errors, and we can run this process. Just click on run. Running. Observe, it calculated each and every value here, each and every value. Now reset, it will go to the initial stage. Reset button, it will take your process to the initial stage. At the same time, it is going to show you if you have any errors. If you have any errors, it will show you in the process. Now coming back to this multi calculation, So here only one shape we are using and then multiple expressions we are implementing. Okay. In previous example, we saw that what is enable calculation zoom. When you are running the process, it will show you, so what is the values, what is the expression you have given in the backend for the particular what is the expression is happening in the backend. It will show you in the runtime. But here, same thing, I will enable calculation zoom. I enabled. Now right click. Observe this. Enable calculation zoom. It has been checked. It's available. Now reset and run. Is it showing? Is it showing what is happening in the backend? No, right? But come to this. Come to this process. Here, enable calculation zoom. It's enabled now, right? Now reset and run. Observe. In each and every calculation, it is showing what is the expression. So it is happening in the backend, but it is not showing for multi calculation. So why? For example, if you observe here in multi calculation, what is happening when it is triggering to multi calculation shape? It is triggering all the expressions at the same time. All the expressions it is calculating at a same time. That's why it is unable to display, so for which calculation which expression is happening in the backend. So that's why enable calculation zoom. It will not work for multi calculation shape. It is going to work only for calculation shape. Just give me a minute. Okay, so this is about how to work with a multi calculation shape. Now I will see how to work with multiple values. If you want to store multiple values, it's not possible to store it in a data item. If you observe here, this is data item. Double click on data item. How many values you have? Only one value. Wherever you are going to use X, it will take the value of 2, 3. It is going to take a value of 2, 3. That's it. It will not take any multiple values here. Only for single value. If you want to store more than one value, then we have an option of collection. It's same like array in your programming languages. For example, any programming language, if you also array to store multiple values, right? Same way here, we will use collection to store multiple values. Observe this. Observe the shapes, data, item, and collection. Almost it looks similar, but we have multiple ends here. Multiple ends. It means this is for single value, this is for multiple values. The same way we have some other shapes also, page shapes, we will call it as a page shapes. Calculation, multi-calculation. Observe this. Here also both are similar, but multi-calculation is have multiple ends. It means calculation is for single value, multiple calculation is for multiple values. Same way we have decision and choice. Decision is for single and choice is for multiple conditions. Single condition, multiple conditions. Here single expression, multiple expressions. Here single value, multiple values. Now we will see how to work with a collection. We'll close this. When you are working with collection, we need to remember one thing. Collections is to store multiple values. It will be like this: ID, name, salary. ID will be 123, name ABC, and then salary will take it as a 4,231. Salary will be 7,000. 1. Okay. Salary will be 9,000. How many values we have? 3 records we have, and then we have 3 columns. We can't able to store this in a data item. It's not possible. If you want to store these kind of values, multiple values, we have to go for collections. And one more thing, when you are working with a collections, if you want to use any field from a collection, remember we have to use collection name dot field name. We have to use in this format. For example, this collection name, for example, if you take this is an employee table, employee data. In this we have employee ID, employee name and salary. EMP is the collection name. EMP is our collection name, and field name is SAL, salary. If you want to use this salary, specific salaries, then we have to use collection name dot field name. We have to use in this format. Then only it will pick that particular data from that particular collection. Otherwise, if you use only the salary, it is not going to pick. Remember, when you are using collection, must and should you have to use collection name dot field name. Then only it will pick. And one more thing, when you are working with collections, must and should we have to use loop. Blindly remember, whenever you are going to use collection, we have to use a loop. That's it. Now, loop will have loop start and loop end. These are another shape in a loop Prism. We will have a loop start and loop end. If it wants to go for a loop, like iterations, we will use loop. Why we need to use a loop when we are working with a collection? For example, how many records we have there in this collection? We have 3 records. We have 3 records in the collection. If you want to implement, for example, total salary, then what we need to do? We need to calculate first record plus second record plus third record 3 times, because we have 3 records in this collection. Now, if you want to implement this, so what we will do is total salary, we will initially declare it to 0, and the expression will be like this: emp dot collection dot field name plus total salary equal to, again I will assign it to total salary. Then what is going to be happen? So what is the first record value? 4,000. First salary 4,000. First calculation will be 4,000 plus what is the total salary here? First, initially we declared it as a 0, and where it is assigning again into total salary. This 4,000, it will be in total salary. Next, for the second record, what is the value of the second record? 7,000 plus what is the total salary now? This is the total salary now for the second record, equal to, again it will assign it to total salary 11,000. This is the total salary, 11,000 is the total salary now. Again for the next record, 9,000 plus what is the total salary? 11,000 equal to 20,000 will be the total salary of the all the employees. So like this we are going to implement a calculation. If you want to do this, see this here, we need to implement one calculation shape. Again we need to implement another calculation shape. Again here we need to implement another calculation shape. It means the same calculation shape has to be repeated 3 times. For 3 records it has to work, right? So the same implementation we are going to do inside the loop. If you want to go for any iterations, any stage, we have to use in between the loop. If you use that in between the loop, then it is going to repeat it n number of times. Collection, we have some records. We have 10 records or 20 records, whatever it may be. How come the loop will understand I have to repeatedly, I have to go for this many number of times. When you are working with collection, we will use loop start. When you are creating a loop start, the loop, it will ask you for which collection I have to go for. For which collection I have to go for. For example, in a workspace, if you have multiple collection, to loop, you have to tell, so for which collection you have to work. So then only the loop will understand how many records I have to go for a iterations. Here the loop start, we will give the collection name, that's it. Automatically loop will understand how many records we have there in a collection. Those many number of times it will go for a loop. If you have 3 records, it will go for a loop 3 times. If you have 10 records, it will go for a loop 10 times. It will be like that. Now we will see so how to work with this collection and how to implement a loop here. Go to process. Now I will create a new process to work with this. The process. Come. Save this process. Save. Do this. Right click. Create a process. The process name will be collections. Collections with loop. Collections with loop. Now next. If you want to give the description, we can give the description. Otherwise, let it be. Click OK. Collections with loop. Double click. Now we need to create a collections. Observe this how we are implementing collections here. Drag and drop collection. Now collection came. Just double click on the collection. So what it is asking, give me the collection name. Give collection name. What is the collection name? EMP. We will give it as a EMP. And then answer this field, initial value and current value. What is initial value? Whatever the value we are giving it to the particular data item or collection before running the process. Whatever the value we are giving before running the process, that is initial value. After completion of the process, the value will be the current value. Whatever the value it is going to hold, that is nothing but current value. Now come to this. Observe what it's saying, that add field. Add field. How many records we require, how many columns we require, those many fields we can able to add it here. For example, we need 3. Name will be ID, name and salary. These are the 3 records, 3 columns, sorry. ID, number, name, text, salary, number. We declared the names, column names or field names. And what about the data? Go to initial values. We need to create how many records we required, those many number of records you can able to create. So here 1 to 1. This is number, right? So I am trying to give some string here. Also, is it allowing? When I am giving some text, it is not accepting because that is a number. 2 to 1 to 3. Name. This is text, right? This is a universal data type. It will allow everything. Also this, I am giving some special characters and then some string and then number. Everything it is allowing, right? Because it's a text. Okay. Now salary 2000, 1000 and 9000. We given 3 records and 3 columns and click OK. Now what happened? Observe this in the collection. What it says? It's saying that we have 3 records in this collection. We have 3 records in this collection. Now, so we discussed that wherever you are implementing collection, blindly we can go for loop. Blindly we can go for a loop. Now just click on the loop. Observe, I put only loop. See this? Loop start, loop end. By default, you will get loop start and loop end. Double click on a loop start. What it is asking? Collection. Give me the collection name for which collection I have to start a loop. If you give the collection name, how many records we have in that collection, automatically it will go for a loop those many number of times. If you have 3 times. If you have 5 times. If you have 10 times. Click OK. Now what we need to do here? We need to calculate total salary. Total salary for these employees. So total salary we need to declare first. Data item and total salary. And then data type number. Initial value is 0. We are taking initial value 0 for data item. Good. Now within this loop we need to implement a calculation 3 times. Right? Within the loop we have to do that. So what we need to do is we need to perform calculation within the loop start and loop end. Yes. Double click on this and come here. Observe. See this? How it is showing? Collection name dot field name. Collection name dot field name. What is our collection? EMP. What is the field we required? Salary from this. EMP dot salary plus next total salary. Total salary. And where you need to assign this again? Again to total salary. So emp dot salary, collection name dot field name, where total salary is equal to, again we are assigning to total salary. Now click OK. That's it. Now we will give the link. Start to loop start to calculation, calculation to loop end to end pointer. Now everything is done. Reset. We don't have any errors. Now click on go button. We are trying to run this. Observe in calculation and the loop end how many times it is going to repeat. How many times it is going to repeat in between calculation and loop end. Start. Three times, right? 3 times it has been repeated in between calculation and loop end because we have 3 records. One more time. Reset. When you are running, observe here collection and then total salary. First record, total salary. Second record, total salary. Third record, total salary. Each and every record it is picking from the collection and it is giving to the calculation and then it is giving the total salary. So this how to work with collection as well as loop. Here, what we have done in a collection, we created the values manually. We created a field and we created a values manually for this collection. But if it is less, we can do that. But if you have 100 records or 200 records or 1000 records, then this is the best way to work with a collection. No, no way we are going to create user defined values for collection or data item. Most of the time, in real time, what we are going to do is we are going to pick the data from Excel file, or we are going to pick the data from database and then we will give it to Excel file. So that's the thing what we are going to do. So going forward, we will see how to work with the Excel and how to pick the data from database and then how to give it to the collection. Collection is very important. So shape here when you are working with a process. When you want to pass the data from Excel to application, from database to application, must and should we have to use a collection. Remember, when you are using collection, blindly go for a loop. And if you want to use a collection name dot field name, we have to do that. Okay. So I will save this process. Save changes. Reset. It will come out of the session. Good. Now, what are the things we discussed in this class? We discussed about what is multi-calculation, what is enable calculation zoom, when you will go for calculation and when you will go for multi-calculation. Calculation is for single, multi-calculation is for multiple expression. And then what is validate, what is evaluate. Validate to check whether expression is correct or not. Evaluate is to check the result of your expression, like testing. To test that expression, we can use a evaluate expression. And data items, we can copy it from one process to another process. If you want to store multiple values, it's not possible in a data item, then we have to come for a collection. In collection, when you are working with collection, we have to use collection name dot field name. Wherever you are using collection, blindly we can go for loop. Loop will repetitively work for how many number of records we have in that collection. Those many number of times it is going to repeat the loop in any process. Okay. So anything, if you want to iterative things, if you want to go for iterative things, you have to implement it in a loop start and loop end. Within that only we have to implement. Okay. So is it clear what are the things we have discussed today? So any doubts in this class? Anyone?
Nothing at the moment. Maybe I may get some
Okay,
doubts
sure.
when I start practicing.
Okay, that's fine. So what we'll do is we will do one thing. So maybe so tomorrow, day after tomorrow, we'll install the software in your machines, and then it will be very good to so practice the things. So otherwise, so
Okay,
it will be very difficult to. So without practice, so you can't able to understand moving forward. Okay, that's fine.
okay. And to share this recorded sessions, do you have our email IDs? I mean, will you be getting it from Dinesh or?
Yeah, I will take it from Dinesh. Okay,
Okay, yeah. Thank you.
thank you. Okay, thank you very much. See you tomorrow. Thank you.